This meeting has been called under Section 110, subsection 1 of the National Constitution and Section 19, subsection 3 of the Constitution of the Western Cape. I now request the returning officer to read the notice whereby this meeting has been called.
It is hereby notified for general information that under and by virtue of the power vested in me by Section 110, subsection 1, read with sections 1 to 8, subsection 1, and 111, subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, 1996, as well as Section 19.3, read with Section 13.1 and 21 and 22 of the Constitution of the Western Cape, 1997, I, John Hlope, Judge President of the Western Cape High Court, have fixed Wednesday, 21st May 2014 at 10:30 as the date and time and the chamber of the Western Cape Provincial Parliament, Cape Town, as a place for the nomination and election of a Premier of the Western Cape, and thereafter for the nomination and election of Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the Western Cape Parliament. Signed, J. Hlope, Judge President, Western Cape High Court, Cape Town. Presiding officer, I submit to you the list of names of the members of the Provincial Parliament.
Right, thank you very much. I have to announce that in terms of Rule 2 of the rules for the election of the Premier and the Speaker, Mr. Royston Gordon Hindley shall act as the returning officer, while Ms. Resida Kattenberg and Ms. Abraham Tsepiso Nache have been appointed as assistant returning officers. I have to announce further that the oath or affirmation has already been administered to the returning officer and the assistant returning officers as required by the rules. Shall now deal with the election of the Premier. This meeting will now proceed to the election of the Premier. Before calling for nominations, I have to remind members that, in terms of the National Constitution and the Western Cape Constitution, as well as the rules, each nomination must be submitted on the prescribed form. Furthermore, I have to draw the attention of members, especially to Section 128, subsection 1 of the National Constitution and Section 38(1) of the Western Cape Constitution, in terms of which no person may be elected as Premier unless he or she is qualified to take his or her seat as a member of the Provincial Parliament. I also have to inform members that in terms of Item 4, in Part A of Schedule 3 of the National Constitution and Item 4 of Schedule 2 of the Western Cape Constitution, there may be no debate. There will now be an opportunity for nominations.
Honorable Judge, ons die ondergetekende lede van die Wes-Kaapse Provinsiale Parlement benoem hiermee die volgende persoon as kandidaat vir verkiesing as Premier. Hon Helen Maria beter bekend as Helen Zille.
Is there any seconder to this nomination?
I second the nomination, Judge.
Thank you. Are there any further nominations?
I, Siyazi Kyakyan, nominate Marius Llewellyn Fransman as the Premier candidate of the Western Cape.
Thank you. Is there any seconder to this nomination?
I, Sharon Venona David, second that proposal.
Thank you. Any further nominations? Any further nominations? I should ask, yes. Are there any further nominations? Are there any further nominations? If not, that concludes the nominations.
So I have satisfied myself that the nomination papers have been properly completed.
Thank you very much. Sorry. Proceed to 2. Give me the names. Thank you. Hmm? 7.2. The following candidates have been properly nominated: Hon Helen Marie and Marius Livelaine Fransman. Since more than one candidate has been nominated, a secret ballot will take place in terms of Item 6 of Part A of Schedule 3 of the National Constitution and Item 6 of Schedule 2 of the Western Cape Constitution. I now suspend the proceedings in order to allow ballot papers to be prepared. Proceedings will be resumed after the bells have rung for 5 minutes.
The Honorable, the Judge President.
Please be seated. The ballot will now be taken. When members' names are called out, they must please go to the table of the assistant returning officers to receive their ballot papers. Each member must then proceed to the polling booth to mark the ballot paper by placing a cross in the space opposite the name of the candidate for whom he or she desires to vote. The member must fold the ballot paper and return it to the assistant returning officers at the table. The ballot paper must be folded in such a manner that the official mark can be seen by the assistant returning officer at the ballot box. After the assistant returning officer has noted the official mark, the member must place the ballot paper in the ballot box. When members receive their ballot papers, they are requested to pass behind the chair to the voting booth to enable a smooth flow. I wish to point out to members to inform the returning officer if they inadvertently spoil the ballot paper before the ballot paper is placed in the ballot box. Should members fail to do so, a spoiled ballot paper will be treated as an invalid ballot paper and will not be considered when counting the votes. Thank you.
Carol Beerwinkel. Yes, wait. You must first get your the cover up. This is. Then go down this way. There's a pen there. Okay. No, I just tick it off here. Okay. Okay. Lorraine Botha. Anton Bredel. Furlong Christians. Sharon Davids. Trudy Diana. Cameron Dugmo. Richard Yankee. Shauna Fernandez. Marius Fransman. Albert Fritz.
Are there any members who have not voted and wish to do so? If not, I now suspend the proceedings to enable the returning officers to count the votes and report to me. The bells will be rung for 5 minutes before the resumption of the proceedings.
The Honorable Judge President.
I have received a written report from the returning officer that the result of the ballot is as follows. Number of ballot papers issued, 42. Number of ballot papers received, 42. Number of spoiled ballot papers, 1. Right, let's carry on, please. Right, Mr. Marius Llewellyn Fransman, 14. Mrs. Hon Helen Maria, 27. In terms of item 6, paragraph C of Part A, Schedule 3 of the National Constitution and item 6C of Schedule 2 of the Western Cape Constitution, I accordingly declare Hon Helen Maria duly elected Premier of the Province of the Western Cape. On behalf of all members here present, I congratulate you on having been elected Premier of the Province of the Western Cape. Congratulations. The Premier, you may take this opportunity to make a short address to the House if you so wish.
Honourable Judge President, members of this Honourable House, Director General, and heads of department, all friends and colleagues gathered here today, we say thank you to the voters of the Western Cape for returning us all to this House to serve them. We honour our Constitution and the checks and balances that it has entrenched to ensure that power serves the people and not itself. And we commit together to make service and sacrifice for the people of the Western Cape our watchword, and to uphold the oath of office we have taken. I'm deeply honoured to be serving a second term as the Premier of the Western Cape, and I'll do that to the very best of my ability with an exceptional team of colleagues and strong opposition from across the floor, so help me God.